Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Lionel. Hey, I'm your host for LT Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering Love and Marriage DC. This is Season 2B, Episode 16, I think it is. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video. Also, subscribe to my channel, and you can leave your comments below. All right, so let's get into this thing. I have some thoughts. I have some feelings. You know where I've stood on a lot of issues and situations, and it may or may not agree with you. I'm trying to put the puzzle pieces together because it is a lot of questions that are in the air. And the way I see things may not be how you see things. And that's something I can deal with. I just wish that if we do see things differently, if people could explain give me some facts or give me something to run with to let me know that this is what's up. Because a lot of this stuff isn't making sense, even when y'all trying to say this and that about different people on the show. Where's the proof of that? That is so ridiculous. Anyways, we are starting where we left off in the last episode. Everyone has made it to dinner at the resort that they're vacationing at. I forgot which one it is. Of course, everyone has started dinner without the Pettys because they were late. And you guys have got to consider the circumstances. First, we found out off of Ashley Silva's and Winter's live last week, they were supposed to make it to the resort around 2 or 3. The group that went in the van. They didn't get there until nighttime. So at this point, while waiting for Clifton and Joy to deliver their scene with Bibles within the hotel room that they got, they was hungry. So they feel a certain type of way because, of course, some people are just not talking. One thing is so crazy. So since I know the truth as far as what has been told, there's been a lot of backstage drama, off-camera drama. One thing that was explained to us is that when Joy decided to promote a season 2 of Love and Marriage DC, she ended up editing out Sherelle and also Alicia, who were in the photo. So, and she was confronted about that. I think there was even drama with Lorena. For weeks, we didn't see the Duncans. Part of that reason is because Joy doesn't want to have a conversation with them. I don't think you have to make anybody have a conversation with anyone. This is the problem that I have, is that why do you think it's okay to slander my name within a group that we're all being formatted in, and think it's okay and not to have a conversation just because this is your beliefs of who they are? Because you spread what I feel is misinformation and it misrepresents me with people that I am trying to form a relationship with. Then you run at any given chance for me to clear my name or to even have a conversation or to clear up any confusion about what you think about me and your perception of me. I don't think that's cool. I don't think that you can just go around just slandering people. And that's where I think Black and Sherelle are coming from. I mean, Raina went and ran her mouth to the group with what exactly Joy said. Raina doesn't really get checked about that. Sherelle checked her, but nobody really is like on Raina because she's likable. But she did run her mouth, and she did make sure that there were seeds dropped in within the group about Black and Sherelle. Black is a bad businessman and does things shady, and also he cheated on his girlfriend years ago. That's the type of person that you're trying to represent. But somehow it's so hard. Look, I understand Ashley and what she did. It was wrong. Somehow we're up in arms because you get to be a liar on reality TV about being married. Somehow other people can be misrepresented. But anything about you that is the truth, it can't be exposed. So I know I'm getting ahead of myself, and I'm just, because there's just, I'm tired of the BS. And there's a lot of BS that I don't know why people don't even want to clock. If Ashley is this big bad wolf, Where are the three bears at? Is it Red Riding Hood? Where is Red Riding Hood at? And isn't she the real culprit? I don't know. It just seems so weird that y'all don't see nothing that's going on with, for the ones who don't, with the Petties. It's very weird. So anyways, Winter does announce that they're getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning to go skiing. They have a full day ahead. Everyone moans. And part of that has to do with how late they got to their destination. Everyone clears up and they go into the room and kind of just leave the Petties there. And now they feel isolated, even though they isolated themselves. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you be the victim and the villain at the same time. I don't know how you do that. So the next morning is Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to all the lovers and married folk out there. We see that Clifton and Joy are celebrating it by Clifton giving her a funny card. No chemistry, but somehow she's rolling all over the floor because of what was said in the card. Congratulations, Happy New Year, and happy birthday. At the breakfast table, but beforehand, Sherelle is making breakfast. Winter was contemplating on even coming downstairs at how tired she really was. So her and Winter, they come downstairs. Well, when Winter comes downstairs, Sherelle has a talk and was like, well, you see how the Petties are acting, and I don't understand why everyone else has to be accountable, and she gets to say this, and not being accountable for the words that come out of her mouth. And it's not really cool. So, of course, the breakfast is made, and of course, the only thing that Raina and Jamie have to say, as always, is just all they do is review every conflict that happened during the day, and that's boring too. I mean, the conflict is boring, but then that's all they can say. There's nothing going on in their lives. They didn't even say anything about Happy Valentine's Day to each other. They didn't give each other a kiss, but it's all about, so what did you think about, that's all Raina says. 98% of the time, whoever she is with, so what did you think about this? Anyways, so everyone comes down for breakfast, all that good stuff. I think Quick ended up saying Happy Valentine's Day. I don't remember. Anyways, Yusha ended up giving Winter a gift. I think it was a purse and basically a long poem of his love for Winter. Of course, Winter's there. So emotional, but I think her love language is affirmations, words of affirmation. So, of course, this is what is going to get her going. They talk about that, and then, of course, I don't know who brought it up, but they're talking about the Petties again. And I guess this is the day that Irena decides to hold Ashley accountable for how she is. I'm not saying that Ashley was totally right in everything that she was saying to Cliff the other day. However, why, if she felt threatened, why wouldn't some of those responses be coming out of her, though? Whether it was intended or not, it happened that way. But anyways, Ashley gives her account of the story again. She says that he was towering over her. Probably not the best choice of words, but he did lean in. That's threatening enough. People can say, oh, it was non-threatening. Why do you think that? They were in conflict, and this is what happened. So I'm going to show the clip. And if you think that this was just so nothing, nonchalant, let me know. So, as you can see, he did lean in. And that's when Ashley went the F off. Like, don't do that. But then later on, they're still fighting. He's antagonizing the situation and not making anything better. But it's just on Ashley. Why is that? I'm not really getting that. Did all the bees have to come out? I don't think so. I really don't. But it did come out. And again, if you put yourself in her situation, what would you think? Of course, Jamie's on a different interview just saying she just wanted TV moments. No, she actually wanted them gone. Out of their space. She didn't even want to be them. She already told them to get out. Joy said that she wasn't going anywhere. And we heard that before she ever went over to Cliff. At that point, you get out. Why are you here? I'm just trying to figure out what the crap. So Irena says that's not what happened. And Ashley said that is what happened. I wasn't there. I don't know how I would feel having a bigger man doing anything like this towards me. And I'm having a conversation. Oh, she put her hands in her face. How? When she was talking with her hands. She only did this to say, back up. So I'm lost at what y'all talking about that she put her hands in his face. That wasn't happening. She was doing this, not in his face though. And you got to learn how to stay in your own stratosphere, even in talking, and even talking with your hands. There are other people that are on reality TV that talk with their hands and will be up in people's faces. Remember the whole thing on Real Housewives of Atlanta with Cynthia and Portia? They was right up in each other's faces, disrespecting each other, and things went haywire. That's being in somebody's face. So Ashley says, you know, you're Team Petty. I get it. Going over there and be there. I think what Ashley is looking for is some acknowledgement of something of saying that you are on our side. And you don't. You haven't been for months. I mean, since Christmas. We know that, Irena. I don't. If the folks just stayed out of it, it would have been okay. But whatever. So the Petties, they have something to say. I think Sherelle was just saying, you know, they're up here making up lies on us and all that, and they need to be accountable. And Black's like, oh, I wish you guys would make them or have them be accountable. And Irena's like, I would do that. I would do that in front of your faces. Da, 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 da. But y'all don't say nothing. When you're in a group, you just sit there. But then y'all want to throw coal on the fire to get things heated up. And then say y'all neutral. So anyways, after that conversation, the group goes skiing. We find out that the Petties are not coming. And we get that message through the Tylers. My question is, why is it that if there's any communication between the Petties and someone, it has to come through Irena? You don't even have a falling out with Winter. You're on this trip with the host. The host is Winter. You were supposed to tell her that you're not coming. That's proper etiquette. Just like you didn't tell Ashley that you were actually going to come. You told Irena that you were going to come to her Christmas party. Like, do y'all see how rude that she can be? And dishonorable to people that she can be? And just do what she wants? I'm seeing a list of things of where she's dishonorable. But it's all on Ashley. That don't make no sense to me. Anyways, the Petties ended up coming. I think midway through the whole skiing situation. And of course, it's the same type of energy. People aren't really talking. They're just really talking to the Tylers. We're just there to talk to the Tylers. Okay, good for you. I think maybe she spoke to Winter. I don't remember. I'll give her that, just to be kind. The Tylers and the Petties, they have a conversation, and they're like, Ashley feels disrespected. Do you think that you could apologize? Irena speaks up for both of them. Absolutely not. She should be apologizing for her disrespect. She did disrespect. I do understand that, and I think that she would be open to an apology. So I went through this exchange online with this other person about, okay, Clifton could possibly have been tipsy and his body was ungraceful when he did that. Okay, so we're acknowledging that he did something, right? And maybe his intent wasn't to be intimidating. However, because of your body shape, length and width, you don't think somebody could feel intimidated by that, whether that was your intent or not? Because you went on to fester up more antagonization behind that. So I said, okay, so it wasn't his intent. Why can't he at least acknowledge that? But he denies anything about that situation whatsoever. So what are people supposed to congratulate about him? What are people supposed to think, and how do you think that they're going to really come to a resolve? So basically they said that they're not apologizing, and that's just that. Of course, the Tylers, they're all in confusion and so distraught and so drained, trying to be the neutral people. They talk about Sherelle having problems with her. You're like, they still got this attitude up, and they're like, they can feel how they want to feel, but I feel like how I feel. Da, 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 da. There's a bunch of opinionated, stubborn folk on this show. That's just all how it is. So they actually do have some fun on the ski slopes. I think Jamie was doing pretty good. Black did fall at some point, but he got lessons and did really well on this large hill. We were under the impression that something happened to Black because all of a sudden the emergency crew were called. We find out that it was Winter who actually hurt her knee. So they had to get her, carry her over and boxed up her leg. So, Lord, all I can say to Winter is, don't go chasing ski slopes. Please stick to the gravity and ground that you're used to. Because what are you doing? At least she participated. So I think Ashley and Sherelle, they were having a conversation about Joy and them. So just one of those things. So later on, I think they had pizza, and the group ended up, it's about nighttime, getting ready to have a surprise that Irena has cooked up. We find out that Terry, the healer, whom the Tylers have dealt with just earlier in the season, and also last year, where the whole couple's got this whole healer situation going on. So, some of y'all had red flags. Could I see it as a red flag as y'all had? Maybe. But when people are intuitive and people are trying to get to the root of a thing, you're going to ask questions. It could feel invasive, or it could feel like, why are you asking me this? But we're trying to get to the root of what is going on. Now, I'm just letting you know, I was raised up in church, the Pentecostal way, then the non-traditional type of church, but it's always been Father, Son, Holy Spirit. That's how we were. And how we were taught, some people, they do have knowledge about you in regards to the spirit realm. And it could come from a familiar spirit. And they usually use it for their own personal gain. And it's not something that has been given to them by God, Holy Spirit. Just to let you know that. So if anyone is kind of like, why are we going to this healer all of a sudden? She has some knowledge. And she has been helping some of the couples on the trip. So, and people have acknowledged some of the stuff that she's been saying. So do I think that she can be accurate? Yes. Does she have to be 100% accurate? Who knows? So she said when Terry, she arrives, and she said that she had one person on her mind that she had to know that she was going to have to deal with something. And the only person that kept popping in her mind was Joy. So she asked a lot of questions regarding her and her life, and there seemed to have been some blockage with her dad. She's asking probing questions, even though Joy ends up saying that they're just leading questions into something else, where we're getting at. One particular question was asked about her dad. Was he working a lot? Did you receive a lot of love for him? And she said, I received a whole lot of love, blah, 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 blah. Basically, that's that on that. Very defensive. But she said something where she said, I received love up until, she said this, up until my parents divorced. So then what happened after that, my love? If you're so confident on the love that you said that you had for your dad, your father. So Terry switches over and is asking questions about, so are you struggling within this group? She said, no. Black and Ashley like, what? So Black was trying to help out the lady because for some reason these folks are not intellectually inept at all. So she started asking a question of do you get along with the group, and does the group get along with you? No. Okay, so now we get there. So that is a struggle, like Ashley said. They get into Black. Black finally got to say what's been on his mind. And again, as I said at the beginning of this video, you've been able to say all of this and not want to meet with me, and he feels it's slander. He has a right to say that. It's misinformation. You're misrepresenting him and putting him in a certain light. So with you refusing, meaning I'm not filming with him, that's just that on that, So he hadn't been able to say anything. And he wants to clear things up and hash things out. Or quit talking about him. How about that? I'm sure now they don't want to talk about them. However, they're still on your cast. So I don't know what you're going to do, lady. Anyway, so he just said, well, you've been doing this, you've been doing that, you've been saying this and that, and it has been fair. I've been wanting a conversation with you for months, and you have not been. We had been in a place of not cohabitating. They was able to get along before about 6 months ago, which is probably around the time that they started filming. Or at least that they were starting to film. Then all of a sudden, all of these blockages came up. I remember something about them being blocked on social media. I think Joy said they've been blocked for years. I think. I have to really go back to some of the interviews that Carlos did at the beginning of the season last year, because I'm unclear and I don't really remember too much about certain things, but I'm not sure how accurate of things. But Joy's like, oh, you guys are so inaccurate, timelines and all this stuff. We ain't never been friends. Black said that he tried to protect her. You ain't never tried to protect me. Everything's been wrong. It's like everything that Black is saying, she's immediately defensive, don't want to hear him out, nothing. So you carry on 10-year grudges. And Sherelle was like, from my perspective, you keep saying that I was in a relationship with him while he was with his ex-girlfriend. I would never do that. We never did anything together. We never smashed. We weren't doing nothing while he was still in his relationship. Now, it could leave room of interpretation that, okay, Sherelle, y'all was dating while he was still with someone. I can't remember their answer when they were talking with Carlos, but I'm going to dig up the archives in regards to that, because it's like they still remain true that they did nothing. Terry ends up saying, you know, it seems like you're pretty judgmental to Joy. Everybody's judgmental. Everybody's this. Ashley chimes in and says something about whatever, but everybody in this group. At this point, she's getting mad at Black, running off at the mouth as Terry's trying to talk. So she grabs her coat and just says, excuse me, Terry. And she walks out the door. It's like anytime someone's getting to the truth of something, it seems like Joy runs and not really wanting to heal and move on. That is my perception. There is control issues. That's what I see. Despite my dislike or whatever you want to call it, there's something there that is very weird about Joy that is not entertaining and is not comfortable to actually watch. So that's how the episode ended. And I feel like I have kind of ran off at the mouth. At this point, I'm ready for story to move on. Hopefully after this trip, we're going to do something else because I'm so tired of it. I'm glad Black finally got his say. She still didn't want to hear nothing that he had to say. She brought up, how did you two meet? And they said, well, they were quiet. If they met on 1-800-Farmers.com, you don't have to be lonely. What is that any of your concern? And what does that prove? She said, well, he drove Sherelle home and left his girlfriend at some event. What does that prove? Y'all throw this stuff out there, but there's no real foundation to what you're even talking about. Joy should really stay out of the whole Black and Sherelle situation. That's not your man. That's not your problem. Even if that is your friend. It's very weird that you're holding on to something that's been years ago. He done married her now. What are you doing? So is the friend just still lonely and just has not been able to move on past Black? That's very odd and very crazy. If you think Joy is the victim, I don't know what to tell you. And then some of you online were saying that Terry was fed something before she came there. How? Isn't this Irena, her friend? Surprise? I mean, even the production said, let's bring her on. So now Terry is just ambushing Joy? Why? I mean, if we want to be truthful, the person that Terry should really go at is Ashley. Because she's been the common denominator of everything, right? Y'all blame evil Ash for everything. I'm just trying to get a picture. I'm just trying to see where y'all going with all this, but whatever. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. I've been kind of yakking. I do apologize, but please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and also leave your comments below. Until the next one, peace.